Yo YouTube, today we're going to be watching DanDaDan episode 2 and 3 reviews, and maybe episode 1 in there too. If not, then I'll do like a separate video on episode 1. But yeah, I'll be smoking in the background, so don't mind me if I cough or anything. But without further ado, let's watch some YouTube.
I ain't gonna lie, Gigi. I was not familiar with your game. I know we've had our moments. I know I have slandered you, and I will somewhat continue to do so. But I'm gonna let it be known right now that you have my respect, twin. You cool. I'm still slandering you though. But hey, welcome back to some more DanDaDan. I got hella comments asking for that last episode, and I thought, why not wait for this one to drop? And man, these last 2 episodes have been crazy. Starting from where we left off, Momo and Okarun have been straight tweaking on the ground. Okarun way more than Momo, because right now, it's like he's trying to off himself. Bro trying to rip out his own mouth from its skull. So Gigi throws him around so he can snap out of it, but it's still not working. That's not the only thing he has to worry about though. That big Mongolian worm thing is still trying to eat them as well. But Gigi, being the smart guy that he is able to save these two because he realized that the worm only responds to vibrations. But that still doesn't answer the question, why are these two trying to off themselves? And then we get our answer. Gigi has felt this sensation before when he found his parents trying to try on, stole up his necktie, and they asked him to do the same thing, to let them die already. We also see an image of this kid. We're gonna see a lot more of him from here on out. But back to the present. Momo was about to impale herself, but per usual, the GOAT, Turbo Granny, saves the day. Always trying to act nonchalant, but we know full and well she goes out of her way to protect this girl. Gigi's able to tie these two up, and Turbo Granny tells us why they're acting like this. The source is actually the worm. It emits psychic waves that tell people to off themselves. But this is where Gigi was showing out. Even after Momo tried killing him, bro ate those attacks, took a nice deep breath, and locked in. Took the hit from Momo. W move, by the way. Picked up these two and started running like hell. And last video, I was complaining about how this dude looked strong as hell, but couldn't pull himself up. Right, damn, really. But now all of a sudden, he locked in. And look at this, bro fell down not once, but twice. Look at the pose. Do you know how strong you gotta be to fall on your back while carrying 2 people, then pick yourself back up from this position and keep running while carrying 2 people? Yeah, maybe he lost a couple style points, a couple aura points for falling right here, but he's doing his best, alright? I can respect that. Luckily, we see that the worm's psychic powers have been stopped for a moment. Unluckily for them, it was stopped by this creepy creature right here. If y'all remember, this is the same thing that had Gigi tweaking in his room back in season 1, Evil Eye. Their little aura off over here is canceling out each other's powers. And oh my god, besides the fact that this turnaround is creepy as hell, that haircut is genuinely diabolical. Of all the crimes this dude has had the displeasure of facing, this lineup is the worst of them. Bro got the sky top of absolute doom and despair, and that bowl cut to boot. If I had a fade that egregious, I'd turn into an evil spirit as well. But don't look him in the eye. According to Turbo Granny, this guy has the same powers of the worm. If you look at him, you won't want to be here any longer. And honestly, this guy doesn't even need the powers to make me feel this way. I get the heebie-jeebies when I stare at him for too long. Now that these two are free, it's time to strike. Okarun might as well be Momo's Pokemon. Her ass said, "Okarun, I choose you. Use quick attack." And he was gone, but it's no use. This Mongolian death worm has RCT and is back on the attack. But as these two run away, Evil Eye looks this dude Gigi dead in the eyes. And then we get its backstory. And damn bro, this was sad. You see that Evil Eye has been around for quite a while, but he wasn't able to have a normal childhood. Locked away, he could only watch as other kids played and danced and had a grand old time. But hey, that didn't stop him from trying to have a good time himself. Gotta admit, he hit in this for real. But yeah, the little guy had it rough. No food, no water, no friends, no nothing. Just the thoughts of others having fun to keep him happy. And the reason for all of this? Because he was to be a sacrifice to the great Mongolian slug, Earthworm Sally. Which begs the question, if you were going to sacrifice this kid, why not let him have some fun? Why not let him be free and enjoy himself for the little time he has? They didn't even give him any food either. They malnourished him and they sent him as an offering. I'm not trying to be the ethics police when it comes to human sacrifices, but they ain't doing this the right way, man. And screw that ugly ass grandma, bro. Had no reason to offer this poor kid as a sacrifice. All he wanted was to play with others just one time, but instead, they gave bro the Full Metal Alchemist greed treatment. They burned him alive. Now, this could have been a feel-good story. Poor kid gets a terrible life, burned alive as an offering, but then, when a new family moves into his home, he finds a kid. They become friends. He gives him powers. They start moving like Danny Phantom. All is good. Happiness. In this here story, ain't no such thing. Each time a kid spotted Evil Eye in their house, the parents would end up offing themselves. Generations of people bought the same house time and time again, and he'd be happy to see another kid just for the parents to die. And it's such a shame because it wasn't even his fault either. It was the damn earthworm Sally. Fat ass slug needs to eat some dirt instead of doing all this. Niggas will do anything but get a job, bro. Let that little man hit his jig in peace, man. They're just jealous that they can't hit a 1-2 as mean as he does. But then we see the Keto grandma come back. And I don't know if this kid is deaf or mentally ill because he heard her say, "We gonna use you as an offering, little bro." And he didn't say a damn word. But yeah, what happens next is what we already know. The Keto family buried the remains of this house and built another one on top of it. And what's worse is that they sacrificed the kid along with the house. The same situation that Evil Eye was in. Trapped against his will and forced to be something that he never wanted to be. And he couldn't even save him. So it's only mandatory that he wanted to spin back, which led him to taking over the kid's body. And that's how we got here. But surprisingly, Gigi doesn't see him as a bad guy. And he runs off to find Evil Eye's original body until he makes it to his resting place. And I respect Gigi for being a good guy and trying to be nice, but this dude is a demon. He ain't trying to be buddy with you, bro. One more step and you're about to get the Megami treatment. Turbo Granny's trying to tell this guy that Evil Eye is not like us. And he's like, nah. Like, no, nigga. Listen to Granny Lamar. She knows what she's talking about. But it's not getting any better. That stupid ass oversized earthworm starts attacking them. First with lightning, and next with a sticky orange fluid. Ugh, nasty work. But Momo was able to get out of there. And Gigi? Yeah, he might be cooked. And he's genuinely such a good guy. And I know I'm gonna slander him in about like 20 seconds. But the fact that he was willing to forgive the evil entity that somewhat took out his parents and start kicking it with him, he's earned my respect. But unfortunately for him, it's about to get wicked. With his statement of saying, "I will play with you forever," he just signed a 360 lifetime contract with him. And I thought bro opened the door of truth right here. Should've listened to Turbo Granny. Now he got hit with the Megami treatment. And Evil Eye started going crazy. Right hook obliterated the earthworm. And why is it that this anime makes these teenagers skinny dip any single time they try to throw hands? The worst thing you can do as a DanDaDan character is wear your best fit to a fight, because 100% of the time, that junk is getting wasted. Evil Eye ain't done though. Wound up his leg way back and then sent it skyward. And oh my aura, Evil Eye got Gigi looking tough. Black nail paint, black tats, and the multicolored earrings?
He got that shit on though.
Momo tries to chop it up with him like, "Damn bro, you looking tough, twin." But Evil Eye ain't hearing a word. He kicks Momo, blowing out her back, but she's able to block this kick. And Turbo Granny saying so, "We're gonna kick your ass, you just wait." We? I didn't know she was bilingual. There ain't no way she's saying we right now. Momo told Gigi to drop the edgelord act, the nonchalant gimmick, and go back to his normal self, but Evil Eye was not with that. I know his ankle screaming in pain, he plotted something devious, but when the worm tries to retaliate, Evil Eye is able to block with this. I won't say it. And then he uses the spirits that created it into a ball and started going wild. PSG could have used his ass in the Club World Cup final because he was moving different here. Peep this frame. Absolutely violating that worm. Hit him with that Forget being a yokai. Evil Eye needs to sign a contract. These flicks are elite. Bro moving like Nagi before he fell off. Momo is over here wondering how Gigi's moving so clean when Turbo Granny makes us realize that it was told to us all along. Our glorious Queen Psycho was always calling Gigi a genius. And I thought this was just her being nice, but he genuinely has insane spiritual ability. And on top of that, dude is like 16, 15, built like this. He's low-key like Yuji when you think about it. Pink hair, happy demeanor, makes a great vessel. Kinda makes me wonder why I hated him in the first place. He's exactly like one of my favorite characters. My agenda must have blinded me. But with the worm out of the way, it's Momo's turn to fight. She tries blocking the direct shot, but Evil Eye uses that as bait and comes in with that uppercut. And he's about to go for the finisher when the GOAT, Ken Takakura, Okarun, saves the day. That's my nigga, man. I knew he'd lock in. Anyway, before we move on, am I wrong to say that I rock with the outro more than the intro? because the outro is such a vibe, bro. I love it, especially the dances. They were killing it. Anyway, back to the hands. Okarun gets blown away, but he's able to dodge that evil eye missile and say Momo. And bro was on that time and he said, "You're not getting away with this, you thug." At least after he saves Momo. They run for a bit. Okarun dodges the pot shots, and Momo also helps using her goal line defense. And they continue their escape. But that boy Evil Eye just going crazy. Like I said, bro should have been in blue lock. Ego's gonna watch this footage and try to recruit him. These two end up getting away for a bit, but even with Evil Eye gone, things aren't looking good. Earthworm Sally is starting to spew more toxic fumes, meaning that they're gonna be poisoned before they make it out of here. And the only weakness that Sally has is sunlight. So basically, they gotta lure it out. ISA was over here stressing out. Homegirl's been carrying the team for the past 14 episodes, so I can't really blame her. But this time, Ken is gonna clutch up. He tells Momo to go back up and find a way to stop Earthworm Sally, and he'll take care of Gigi. And this was so sweet, bro. These two are so locked in, it's crazy. Also, I never really noticed that this dude Ken is actually shorter than Momo is. Kinda cute. Anyway, Okarun gets this smart idea to use his leg strength to kick up Momo, which is surprisingly a good idea from him, considering that Isa is the one usually coming up with these ideas. But it works. Momo gets tossed up, and then she uses those psychic powers to catapult herself upwards. And just in time, because Evil Eye is back for round 2. Okarun gotta be the toughest 5'6" nigga in history. Bro got balls of steel for a reason, or ball. Evil Eye told him that he was next on the chopping block, and he told his ass to eat dirt. Then they start going at it. Ken is weaving those projectiles light work, but Evil Eye comes in from the side, hits a direct shot, but Okarun weaves that. He tries it again, but like I said, that's light work. Evil Eye ain't done though. He pulls up with that uppercut, and Okarun dodges. Then he tries to come in with whatever this was, but Lil Bro got told to hit the weight room. Kicked the ball at him, and then he came in with a flying knee. If Okarun had more than one ball right now, that'd probably hurt. They crash, Okarun spins back with a stomp, then weave, and runs away. And Evil Eye is so done with these hit and run militia tactics. They go back at it again. Evil Eye sends over the ball, pulls up on Okarun, and he barely dodged that. But Evil Eye's not done, because he brings the ball back around, smacking the taste out of his mouth. Then he violates him with this insane body blow. I mean, a replay on that, bro. Look at the stance. Would have murked him right here too, but Okarun's weave game is always on 100. But it's not looking good. Okarun's tired, and Evil Eye is talking about it's time to take this more seriously. And since Earthworm Sally is still spewing that poisonous nonsense, Evil Eye decides it's time to end this. And then he pops his domain expansion, Cursed House. And oh, what was that? Did I hear the words domain and expansion in the same sentence in another anime before Megami? Megami slander is the gift that keeps on giving. I will never run out of material, bro. And oh lord, this domain expansion was incredible. Do y'all remember back in the days before like Yuji's domain, and when they thought his domain expansion was gonna be that fuck ass boxing ring? It still fries me to this day thinking about it. But that's basically Evil Eye's domain. He told Okarun, "You will never be able to leave this cursed house." Then he pulled up to the crib talking about I'm home. And oh my god, while hitting the stare down too, I'm running out of honey, bro. He too raw. I hear aura farming in the undies too. Them Fruit of the Loom tighty whiteys. You gotta love it when villains take over characters and make them even cooler than they ever were. Then he started going crazy. Okarun weaved the first punch, but Evil Eye hit him with that. He thought this shit was sweet. Had Lil Bro hitting that wobbly wiggly junk from that Travis song. Evil Eye had all day to charge this punch. And then the beatdown ensued. He beat the damn brakes off this nigga, bro. Had Okarun posing for the camera and everything. Fight back, bro. But then he started talking about what he'd do to Momo. And that's all my boy needed to start locking in. Grabbed him by the face. Not even, bro. He palmed that boy like a Spalding ball and told him to stop chattering. Then he said there were 3 things that he shouldn't have done. 1, he harmed his girl. 2, he snatched his homeboy's body. And he didn't even finish the 3rd one before he started going crazy. He had that boy Evil Eye confuzzled. He could not believe this. I mean, peep the grab, bro. This is actually crazy. Evil Eye tried throwing him off, but look at that evasive. You know Okarun is feeling himself right now. Moving like he got one AirPod in. Weaved the knee, got down low, and started violating. Y'all remember the workouts that he do behind the school, jumping up and down? Well, now it's time to see the fruits of his labor. He beat the brakes off of Evil Eye, was hitting him so hard That bro actually broke the domain expansion from the inside. Had his ass looking crazy, floating up in the air and everything. And look at Okarun, bro, hitting the pose and stuff. He deserves this after getting his ass kicked so many times too. Shout out to the GOAT. Anyways, back to Momo. She hasn't been sitting idly by. At first, she tried making a makeshift rope, but it was too short. Then, she remembered a conversation that she had with Gigi when they were younger. Basically, earthworms breathe through their skin, and when it rains, they can't do that, so they come up to breathe, which leads to them dying because of the sun. Also, young Gigi is evil as hell, man. Out here bullying little Momo, bro. She looks so sweet. But anyways, she gets a good idea on how to lure out Earthworm Sally, burning down the house, then using the fire department to put it out, bringing out Sally as well. Which is good, because Okarun dumbass is out here getting himself stuck in worm goop. Evil Eye beat the last brain cells out of his body, cause what are we doing, bro? ISA was almost unable to get the worm out in the first place because these dumbass cops, stupid ass police officers, were trying to arrest her. I can't believe I was out here saying praise the blue the last episode, bro. Luckily though, the earthworm is rooted out. That stupid house was in the way, but ISA got rid of that quickly. I keep forgetting how strong this girl is, bro. Jesus. Out here throwing a fire truck like it's nothing. But with that, Earthworm Sally is finally gone.
What's wrong, you chicken? Get up!
But somehow the Keto family is still alive? Stupid ass worm did all that for nothing. And that isn't even the worst of it, because with the earthworm gone, that volcano, which is the reason for all this in the first place, has now erupted. And man, it is not looking good. But we're gonna have to find out what happens next time. So
That was a pretty good episode. I liked it. I read the manga for DanDaDan, so I'm caught up every week. But it's good seeing it animated.
Step into Wix Studio, the platform for agencies and enterprises. Kick off project.
He had Momo's name in his mouth, and that's when Okarun shut that damn lip himself, had bro frozen in fear, and uppercuts the shit out of him. He then starts clobbering Evil Eye with the Muda special. I'm honestly at a loss for words right now because I had my own doubts, but Sai and Saru managed to show me once again why they're the GOAT. Had me screaming from my chair throughout this whole episode like I had a parlay on it or something. I also ain't talked about it in my last video, but they also went 2 for 2 with the openings as well. Shit was really bumping for real, and having it through Okarun's POV, chef's kiss, bro. So we continue from where we left off last week with Okarun saving Momo and clashing with Evil Eye. I was surprised they ain't split the damn sky with all that hockey usage. So the ball dissipates due to it, and Okarun wasn't even on the ground for a second, and Evil Eye was already charging that direct shot at him. But Okarun picks up Momo and hits the dash. Look at this ball control. Oh my goodness, Nagi fans, you wish that was your GOAT, huh? And Evil Eye gotta have aim assist or something, because the ball somehow ends up locked on them every bounce and almost put them both on a t-shirt if Momo ain't use her powers to try and block it. But the impact made them restart a floor. I'm just saying, if this guy was on Manshine instead of another person in particular, then they probably would have won. I don't know. But Momo uses her powers to raise them back up. But Evil Eye started blamming off the rip. Yeah, bro was definitely cheated. Hit him with a 1-2 combo. But Okarun is zooming like he missed the bus. Zooming like his mom told him to be home yesterday. But Evil Eye had to take a cooldown because he was spamming that minigun volley. So as Okarun and Momo are in the clear for now, Okarun says that they gotta escape. And Momo's like, well duh, Captain Obvious. If it was that easy, we would have been gone by now. She then asks if the earthworm has a weakness, and Okarun says that it's sunlight, being that they have a symbiotic relationship with bacteria. So Momo's freaking out cause it ain't looking too good, and Gigi turned into if Captain Underpants and Isagi Yoichi had a child. Okarun spits some game though, saying that he might be able to do something, but if it's just her. Momo rejects that idea, being that there's no point if they both don't get out of this shit alive. That's what we all want for real. A ride or die type of bond, a Bonnie and Clyde type of bond. Okarun tells her to lock in though, being that they don't got time to be dilly-dallying, and says that when she's out, she can try to save them. Momo worried about Gigi too, but Okarun's like, yeah, I'll handle that nigga alright, and tells her that she needs to escape so that she can try to save them. So she holds his hand and looks him right in them damn eyes and promises to save him, and tells him to save Gigi as well. And he's like, I bet. So Okarun is under this chair with Momo on it, and the game plan is to pretty much kick her up and have her powers do the rest like a multi-stage rocket. Gave this girl no prep time whatsoever to even pray to the Lord and Savior, and sent her straight up. Once she reached max height with the chair, she pushes herself onto the opening of the house, and she doesn't reach. I mean, I guess she forgot that she had powers, because she locked back in and used her powers to grab onto the wall. But nonetheless, I'm glad that she made it and she ain't cracked her skull open from the fall damage in the process. As Okarun sees that she made it, he then gets hit with the domain expansion, and that smile was gone. Evil Eye was like, found you, like they was playing hide and seek or something. And he tells Okarun to rejoice as he'll be the first one to die. But Okarun just locks in and told Evil Eye that he was gonna get his get back. So Momo gets up looking for some rope to try and save him, and as a last resort, she uses the curtains, and she was putting in that work tearing and tying it up just for that shit to be ineffective. They really need Rapunzel in that bitch or something. I swear she got more length than that makeshift rope. As Momo was trying to think of another plan, she remembers that sunlight is the worm's weakness. She also notices that her phone is gone, and she's a stronger person than me, cause I would have dove back into that pit like my middle name was Phelps just to find it. But she gathers some books, turns the stove on, and commits arson to burn the house down as a last resort to save them.
So what's the verdict?
You're looking incredible in that dress.
So Okarun is hitting the dash and the ball is chasing after bro like it got a grudge against him. Yeah, I'm convinced that this shit has heat seek or something, bro. But Evil Eye already caught bro and sent a volley to the dome, but he dodged it just in time. He is not Don Lorenzo. That head game ain't that strong. Pause. Right when bro landed, he hit the "he's right behind me, isn't he?" and dodged another point-blank volley. At this point, Okarun was just running up and down through the place, and right when he landed, thinking that he could catch his breath, he dodged an uppercut from Evil Eye. Oh my goodness, let my nigga take a breather, please. Matter of fact, where did your ass even spawn from? Can you teleport? But he took his sweet ass time walking to Okarun at the start. I see what type of man you are, Evil Eye. Dodges the ground punch, but Okarun hit him with a double fist, or should I say the Jennifer Lopez, but that shit did nothing. Evil Eye even had to throw him off of him because of that foolishness, and Okarun couldn't even blink because the ball was already coming at him at Mach speed. This the last thing niggas in gym class see when the dodgeball sweat gets his hands on the ball. Okarun leaps into the air, but the ball was only bait for him to get kneed into the gut. Okarun drop kicks Evil Eye from behind somehow. I don't know how he pulled that off, but Evil Eye threw one back fist and Okarun moved his ass on like he ain't hit bro first. Honestly, Okarun, you kinda looking a little pussy. Evil Eye ain't tripping though. He spawns back the ball, kicks it at Okarun, distracted bro, and he was in his face the next second. Okarun flash steps behind him though. Evil Eye activates his Renegon. Yeah, he ain't playing no more games. Had that ball hit Okarun right in his jaw. Too bad he ain't got that John jaw strength. And caught the nastiest elbow. Okarun only opened one eye, and I just know his life flashed before his eyes right then and there. But he manages to get away. So Evil Eye was like, take the hit like a man, or are you too pussy? But Evil Eye freaky, he likes the chase. I don't know why bro standing like that. He got a snatched waist though, I won't lie. He starts bleeding though because of the poison, and Gigi's body is nearing its limit. So he uses his Renegon again and traps Okarun in that house of screams and sorrow, and he can't get out. And Evil Eye walks in, says that he's home. It was looking no bueno for my boy Okarun. Dodged the right, but the knee did him in. Then he hit him with a mean left and just began to throw straight haymakers at Okarun while laughing and smiling menacingly like he's Sakuna when he was whooping Jogo's ass back in Shibuya. Nah, but Evil Eye was giving Okarun straight BTA. But he had Momo's name in his mouth, and that's when Okarun shut that damn lip himself, had bro frozen in fear. So he was like, Give me back my Nakama! Evil Eye slapped his hand out of the way. He was done with all that yapping. Hit bro with the right, but Okarun dodges it like he Gojo or some. Evades the knee, gets even lower, and uppercuts the shit out of him. He then starts clobbering Evil Eye with the Muda special. Evil Eye thought he had an opening after 20, but Okarun starts it right back up again, and this shit had me hype. Shit had me like Lex Luthor screaming 1A at my screen. But Okarun managed to destroy that house by using Evil Eye as a punching bag, knocking out his ass cold. Okarun blacks out, but he gets right back up trying to figure out a way to get out. He tries dragging Gigi's body along as well, but that body was mad hefty. He then hears TG in the distance stuck in that orange goo and tries to get her out as well. Bro using all of his might to try and pull her out, but he ends up tripping and getting them both stuck. And they both start crying out for Momo to save them. Like, this was honestly frying me, I can't lie. So we see a cop asking Momo if she started the fire, and hold up. Is that you, sellout cop? Yeah, GG's. Don't even waste your breath on him, Momo. He ain't hearing nothing you have to say. So bro told her to get in the car, but she knows her rights, and she ran to the firefighters to tell them to spray water at the ground. But that's when an earthquake happens, and the cops really talking about some stay calm and not to move. I know your ass is not talking to me. I want to live. Best believe I'm doing the dash. But that's when the earthworm comes out of the ground and everyone starts doing the dash like the earthquake wasn't the first red flag. So the earthworm starts disintegrating but tries to hide behind the wall to keep itself alive. Momo sees this and is like, oh hell nah! Picks up the fire truck and slams it against the wall to break it so the worm can meet the Lord. Momo ain't let that guard down either. She was really trying to scrap up with it, making sure that it was dead. But it then vomits out the members of the Keto family it swallowed up. Mad that they survived, but hey, shit happens, I guess. So another earthquake happens, and Auntie was like, look what you have done. This is all because of that damn phone. And we see the volcano begin to erupt, but the episode ends off right there. God damn it! This episode was honestly amazing. Like, Okarun versus Evil Eye had me screaming out of my chair. And the scenes where Okarun was running around were also animated very nicely. I found it mad satisfying. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy the video, then please make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and comment down below your thoughts on the episode, and if I should continue making these weekly or bi-weekly episode coverages. Make sure to also go follow the socials, like the Instagram and the Twitter, and be sure to join the Discord as well to be a part of the community. All links are in the description.
That video was by Dark Hero Josh. The first one was by Noah's XZ. So we're looking through my search history chat. I'm gonna call you a chat, by the way, because one day we don't actually have a chat. Who's this?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the clubhouse. I've got a big surprise for you. It's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Plus. I can't wait to see ya.
Now available on Disney Junior and Disney Plus.
Nobody likes a cracked windshield.
What was that?
No. But you can go to SafeLight.com and get it fixed now and pay later.
Awesome.
SafeLight can come to you for free. Don't wait. Get it fixed now and pay later at SafeLight.com.
SafeLight Repair, SafeLight Replace.
So I'll come right out of the gates and say I did not appreciate Yukunobu Tatsu drawing this chapter. I felt it was a general affront to me as a person, and I take it personally. The fact that we...
Oh shit. Sorry, Chad. This is the chapter review. We're looking for episode 3 reviews.
If you're on the channel because you saw the massive DanDaDan Season 1 lore drop ahead of Season 2, then welcome. I'm happy to see you. And if you're new to the channel altogether, then I'm glad you came to join us, because I'll be doing weekly recaps of DanDaDan for the entire second season. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and become a member of the channel to get the vids that nobody else gets to see, and to get these videos faster than anybody else. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and give you guys a refresher. So So at the end of season 1, Gigi was introduced as the childhood friend that Momo had a crush on, and they were in elementary school back then, but he had to move away to a secluded home in the woods with his parents, and fast forward, now he's a ladies' man that attends their high school temporarily, while Momo and Okarun are supposed to be helping him solve the paranormal issue that literally offed at least 4 spiritual exorcists and put his parents in the hospital. Momo's fine grandma, Granny Psycho, was the person he actually wanted to enlist the assistance of, but she couldn't use her powers away from her zone, so she was effectively useless to the case. Okarun joins Momo on the journey to sort things out, even though he felt like the third wheel to their antics, because obviously they go way back. On the train, Gigi and Momo literally are joking so bad that Momo's literally in tears at one point, and Okarun tried to fight back by talking about the occult, which works, but not in the way that we expected. Gigi takes interest, and those two low-key hit it off. When they arrive at the crib, there's seemingly nothing wrong, so Momo heads to the bath in the hot springs, and Gigi and Okarun goof around at the house until they end up seeing a room on the outside that doesn't exist on the inside. This leads to a sledgehammer being used to break the wall down, where they're greeted by a room coated in talismans. Skip over to them checking on Momo, and we realize that she's in quite the predicament. Now, I don't know if the hot spring is mixed bathing or what, but these 5 devilishly goonish grown men decide to come take a dip. They don't even mind their manners and stay on one side of the water either. They dead get in the water, submerge themselves to the point that their glasses and their hair are the only things outside of the water, and start lurking towards her. 5 grown men that look like they could have kids her age, mind you. She tries to attack one that seems to be the leader, but it doesn't work, and bro grabs both of her wrists and forces her underwater. Had her spewing bubbles while old man balls and fatty tissues were draped over her trying to drown her. There was a random piece of stone that flies out of nowhere to knock the dude off of her, and then she has a chance to make a break for it. She gets out of the water and more of them try to swarm her, but nearby wooden planks take them out. So here we think she's almost free, but we were so wrong. First bro comes up from the water and grips a handful of little girl ankle trying to drag her back, but in another coincidental fashion, the entire locker room area falls apart and drops on bro as he tries to escape. Meanwhile, the doorway perfectly lands around Momo, leaving her unscathed. Come to find out, the whole time it was just Turbo Granny enjoying the hot spring as well, and that was when she locked in and decided, you know what, I might as well save Momo since I'm here, and I snuck along on the trip. We check back in on Okarun and Gigi, and they decided to wait on Momo to make their next move. The doorbell rings, and Gigi immediately opens it up thinking it's Momo, but unfortunately it was the most unattractive granny in the show. Yes, uglier than OG Turbo Granny, and certainly uglier than the cute cat form. I mean, come on. Bro invites the granny and her 4 cronies in the door like an absolute idiot, and they go to town in the living room eating all the snacks in the crib. At first it seemed unjustified, then when she explained that they had been letting him stay in the house without paying rent while his parents were in the hospital, it all started to make sense. But stuff starts getting weird when they ask where he's been at the past few days, and he explains that he went to go pick up Okarun, which was a friend of his that he wanted to come visit, which is obviously a lie we both know. It gets worse when they start pressing him because they know they told him not to bring spirit mediums to the crib because, quote, they don't have spirits. Definitely sounds like something somebody hiding spirits would say, but I don't know, maybe it's just me. The main granny wasn't having it though and puts a 12-gauge shotgun in Gigi's face. Now I'm confused because I didn't think it was that deep at all. Bro jokes a bit and says that she would go to jail if an officer saw and got the wrong idea, and boy, right as he says this, the 5 horsemen of the Hot Springs Goonpocalypse pop up acting all chummy with the police officer. The goonsman presses him about Okarun and says, are you really close friends? And when he says yes, he asks questions that only Gigi's closest people should know about him, and Okarun surprisingly pulls off the upset and answers correctly. But this just leads to the wackiest scene in the episode yet. Momo gets back, ready to chat with the boys, and opens up the front door to see a Diddy party opening scene. Gigi and Okarun are naked and on the floor battered, while the 5 goonsmen stand spread around the room with nothing but towelettes covering their old man bits. And the grannies are sitting at the table looking around at her like 5 different versions of Muscle Man from regular show if he was debuting in a Meat Canyon video. Momo immediately drops the bag and starts sliding on the creeps. I'm talking signature kick to the first dude's neck, yokes up the second guy with her spirit hands and knees him in the nose. Third dude comes in with a mallet and has her ducking and dodging until she finally puts a back heel kick into the side of his head for a concussive finish. finisher. The last two came in on combo timing though, literally lobbing her into the air with the human-sized fan and the other cleaning up shop with a left-hand finisher of doom. She manages to defend herself at the last second though and uses a snack table to put the fan man on all fours with his yams facing her. She gets the NFL kicker kickoff run-up going and booms him in his dusty nuts. I know it almost killed him because bro got lifted off the ground and covered his mouth with 2 hands to keep the noise quiet. The last dude takes this chance to grip her up and then headbutted her to make her see sounds and taste colors so he could, hold on. What the hell is he doing? Ref, officer, do something. Luckily, Turbo Granny popped out of the backpack and scared him into slipping on a bottle, and he slammed the back of his head on the floor. The rest of the clowns come to, and she tells them to leave before stuff gets wicked. But now it was the lead granny's turn to stand on business. She gets airborne with a double kick that sends Momo into the TV, then almost takes her head off with a neck strike. She then keeps kicking and puts a hole in a nearby wall, and Momo is literally running for her life. The old lady must have had extrasensory abilities like a Pokemon because Momo sends a couch at her and she got low without looking behind her to see. More vicious swings, but Momo continues to evade. She jumps towards the kitchen and uses her powers to send every dish and appliance that she could towards her. But Granny proved why she's the OG by logging in and knocking all of the stuff away. I'm talking 8 trigrams, 64 palms type work. I thought she was Neji in another verse. She walks Momo down and then continues to put paws on her until she got the upward kick off that sent Momo flying. She breaks out her signature move and sends Momo through 2 walls into the room that was coated in talismans. At this point, I'm wondering where the hell Gigi and Okarun are and what they're doing because there's no way they just decided to lay on the ground and watch this happen. Granny decides it's about time to get deadly because Momo was doing the most. But Momo explains that it was like looking at her breaking in and assaulting her friends from her point of view. The old people collectively explain how they're worshipping a serpent spirit and giving him sacrifices and everything for hundreds of years this has been going on. Even explaining that that was the reason why she even had 2 minutes to herself in the hot springs earlier before obviously getting assaulted. She tells Momo how the Keto family does all this to make sure the town can keep existing peacefully without having any sort of calamity cooking them. The granny explains that even though the home has changed form multiple times throughout the years, it has always been the place in which the sacrifices have occurred. They keep inviting people to stay in the home with the sole purpose being so that they can sacrifice them later. They plan on using Gigi's parents in order to do it, which is why they ended up hospitalized, but now they intended on using Okarun and Momo as substitutes. The floor starts swallowing Momo up, and even as she uses her powers to hang on, the old people shove her back down. Gigi and Okarun finally make another appearance and use the couch to shove the old people out of the way, but they fail to save Momo, and they all fall through the floor into a massive pit that had me thinking we were watching Gachiakura now. Gigi falls onto the actual snake, but it wasn't anything close to the deity, honestly. The entire Keto family jumps into position and starts dancing up like they're in a step show or at a probate, getting ready to stroll. Okarun, being the expert in this field, immediately peeps that it's not a snake. No, but it's actually a Mongolian earthworm. Momo tries to explain it to them, but they weren't listening. They just kept glazing and dancing for the worm, and then it literally ate all of them.
Jesus Christ.
Momo, Gigi, and Okarun hide in a house nearby, and then a weird light shines in on them, keeping them stuck in place. Okarun transforms and starts crawling towards Gigi, and then the episode closes. Without any further ado, episode 2. It starts out with Okarun being half transformed into his Turbo Granny form, leaning over.
I should have played this video first, but it's cool. Like, yeah, it's cool.
Over Gigi, but it gets really horror movie-esque really quickly. Bro starts pulling on either side of his cheeks and begins to draw blood and then also drool all over the floor. Gigi tries to stop him, but he smacks him across the face and starts grabbing his head, tweaking. You could tell he's in a state of severe mental anguish, and Gigi tries to stop him from trying to off himself repeatedly. First with a box cutter, and secondly with a pair of scissors. He uses a cup to bait the worm away from them, but realizes that it only reacts to vibrations when it didn't react to Momo groaning in pain. When stopping Okarun the second time, he realizes that Okarun shouts, "Just let me die already." And this triggers a flashback in Gigi's head. We get clued into the reason why his parents are in the hospital when the flashback shows him cutting them down while they were trying to cook themselves. Momo tries to do it next, but fails when the glass that she used stabbed Turbo Granny multiple times instead. Turbo Granny shouts for Gigi to tie them up, and he listens before she reveals that the worm has been emitting psychic waves to get the human sacrifices to off themselves. When he asked why it doesn't affect him, Turbo Granny was about to drop some serious lore. But Momo starts using her powers to send glass shards to cook herself again. Gigi comes in with the clutch save but gets cut up by the pieces of the shards in the process and lands directly in front of the worm. He gets sort of a last second awakening and allows the other glass shards to impale his arm while he grabs Momo, Okarun, and Turbo Granny up by the teeth before running through the house and attempting to escape the worm. He runs out, and when he slips down the staircase, his luck has finally run out as he drops them, which leads to them attempting to jump over the ledge and cook themselves yet again. Gigi has another mental flash while looking dead at the worm, and suddenly a frail purple man in a diaper pulls up like he's straight out of a nursing home. Bro is floating and emitting a purple force field. Turbo Granny reveals that he's the evil eye, and one look at Bro will make you self-delete. So this tells us that the evil eye and Mongolian earthworm were standing there going aura for aura. But in my eyes, they were just so ugly that they were going negative for negative. And for those that know math PEMDAS, well, that means they cancel each other out because it makes a positive or something like that. Momo and Okarun return to sanity, and Okarun transforms before blasting through the worm's body and cutting its head off. But it just grew back. They start running, and the evil eye flies over to Gigi before putting him in a genjutsu that shows him the former life of the evil eye spirit. We see him as a white-haired kid locked inside of a special room, looking out at children dancing and laughing in a nearby field. He practices dancing in the room while looking at his shadow that's cast on the ground from the setting sun. He remembers the smiles of the kids and makes a dehydrated grin before falling asleep on the dirt floor next. Then, the next scene has him tied up to a wooden beam facing an active volcano, as what seems to be the Keto family is in the background praying. The next scene had me wishing I was blind, bro, cause why did they pray while bro was getting burned alive by the lava? Then the memory ends with him saying, I just wanted to play with the other kids. Like, dude, my literal heart just got torn by a 45-second clip. But wait, there's more. Bro respawns, but apparently only the kids can see him. Each time he gets acknowledged by the kids, the parents of the children attempt to off themselves. One time he tries to dance and calm one kid down that saw him while eating with his parents, but we get a scene switch and both of his parents decided to take a bite out of the dangle fruit, if you catch my drift. The granny of the Keto family that first set bro up to get burned at the stake was talking to her family members and determined that the leftover boy whose parents had just passed would be offered to the great serpent. Try as he may, the ghost of the spirit boy couldn't untie the boy that was locked inside of the house. It's revealed that the family has been locking them inside of the homes and building new ones on top of the old homes after Momo tried to pry the evil eye off Gigi, but he told her that he wasn't a bad guy and ran off to free him from the lowest level. When he reached the bottom floor, he removed the plank that was on the door and opened it to see the mummified and burned body of the spirit tied to a stake. Momo and Turbo Granny failed to understand the nature of the spirit, but he said that he did, and even when the earthworm started to secrete its sticky goo all over the place, Gigi held steadfast in order to try and help the spirit of the boy. He ends up being teleported into the room back in the memories of the boy and agrees to play with him forever, which seems like a big mistake because on the outside it looks like his body's being taken over, and Turbo Granny taunts him for listening before the Mongolian earthworm's goo melts the roof and pins them all to the floor. It comes in for the finishing blow, and then something impressive happens. Gigi gives it the meanest right hook and then sends a sweeping kick with crazy impact frames. We realize very quickly that this situation was closer to Okarun when Turbo Granny first took over his body than any symbiotic relationship, because bro immediately turns his attention and starts beating on Momo. The worm tries to slide on him again and he charges up some sort of spirit ball before kicking it around to continuously strike it. The worm retreats into the dirt when it realizes it's outclassed, and he turns his attention to Momo and Turbo Granny once again. Turbo Granny clarifies that Granny Psycho wasn't just glazing Gigi when she called him a genius repeatedly in season 1. He had a ridiculously strong affinity for spiritual power, and his body was extremely athletic, making him the ideal host for a spirit looking to possess somebody. The evil eye turns his attention to Momo and kicks the ball of souls at her at point blank range. Momo holds off the ball, but gets snuck from the side and sent it to a nearby wall. He tosses the ball in the air again to kick it and end her, but just as his leg connects to the ball, so does Okarun's. My goat! This part of me was so geeked for our nerdy king. Bro literally said, "You're getting an ass whooping because no one hits Momo, and then the episode ends. If you made it this far in the video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, and become a member of the channel to help support the content. And like always, AYC, what you got for me?
Your theme is peace.
Okay, we got like 3 more videos.
Editing your podcast on Riverside is a no-brainer, and I want to show you why. Your podcast transcript is here.
Sorry if I sound like I'm sick, because I am. Alright, the last episode ended off with that boy Okaru genuinely tweaking. I mean, that boy is spazzing out. Gigi trying to help Lil Bro out, so he just starts tossing his ass around this entire room. Then Okaru finds a box cutter. He's finna get himself up out of there. So Gigi stops him. Whole time that death worm is camping they ass. Okaru got back up and tried to get himself up out of there again. I'm not gonna lie, Gigi, that second time I would've just had to let Lil Bro do it. So he stops him, and then Momo got up, trying to get herself up out of there. Like, what's good with y'all, bruh? But the only reason they moving like this is because that death worm is shooting suicide rays into their brain. So as the real dude Gigi is, he grabs Momo and Okaru and skedaddles up out of there. Death worm on his ass the whole time too. Over here got that boy playing real life Temple Run. Gigi then proceeded to fumble Momo and Okaru, over here moving like Dak Prescott. And that death worm was staring his gaping maw at Gigi. He thought it was over. Then this strange purple dude and this terrible, horrible fugazi ass haircut pulled up. And listen, parents, don't do this to your son, to your daughter. Don't do this to your children. They will look back at this, look at you, and proceed to hate you for the rest of their lives. This is grounds for a CPS call. I'm not gonna hold you. And what's the point to cut that little triangle right there? Your shit's still ass. Like, come take a peek into my hairline ass design. Like, nah, this is for the birds. Momo and Okaru got their sanity back just for that purple dude to turn his head and stare them directly in the face. Turbo Grid is like, do not look Little Bro in the eye. That right there, that is the evil eye. Crazy part is, purple dude does the exact same thing that the death worm does. Like, it's either die or die. Like, what do you want me to do right now? So Okaru took this chance while these two boys was in a stalemate to attack the death worm, and he done cut Lil Bro in half. Don't know where Lil Bro is though, but he done cut his ass in half. Just for the death worm to regenerate. Momo and Gigi start hitting the dash because that death worm is on their ass, and Turbo Grady's still in the background like, don't look that purple dude in the eyes. And the evil eyes like, I bet. Damn near goes pupil to pupil with Gigi, forcing him to lock eyes with bro, just for that boy Gigi to get thrown into an evil eye backstory. And I was right, the Quito family was just slam dunking babies into the volcano for the funsies. And now the one that survived and turned into a spirit is back for revenge. Little dude just wanted to play. Now he's a spirit that every time a kid looks at them, they parents off themselves. At this point, you just gotta charge it to the gang. Momo tried to rip the evil eye off of Gigi, but he already done made his mind. He's gonna go help Lil Bro out. He finds his ass and got friend one. I mean, that boy Gigi would have fell for the old man in the van with some candy trick if that nigga had a sad backstory. That girl Momo was finna get eaten by the death worm, but Gigi evil eye possessed done punched and kicked the piss out of Little Bro. And that boy Gigi looks cold as hell. Then the camera pans down, nigga fighting the buff. He done saved Momo's ass just to kick her in the chest. I mean, backdoor her ass, but from the front door. She blocked that hole with her psychic powers just to get pressed up against the wall with this nigga's bare, nasty ass feet. Get them damn concrete grippers off of me, twin. Evil Eye Gigi was getting ready to get rid of Momo, but then that death worm pulled up and he turned his attention to that. Blocked its lightning attack with this cube, and he formed a soccer ball out of the spirits of the damned and proceeded to switch Little Bro down. He done did the death worm so bad that boy decided to retreat back into the dirt. That boy Gigi then turned his attention back to Momo, kicked the piss out of this ball to Momo. She blocked it with her powers, just for Gigi to pull up on her side, and golly. I mean, he punched the piss out of Shorty, sent her little goofy ass flying. He had went to go finish the job, but big Okaroon pulled up, blocked the attack from Momo. Gigi won that clash though, knocked Okaroon back just to charge up another one of them balls. The Okaroon grabbed Momo and skedaddled up out of there as Gigi was trying to switch them boys down. And the whole time Okaroon was like, hey man, you hit Momo, I got something for that bitch ass. Don't even worry about it, twin. Gigi had cut their asses off, so Momo had to block that hoe with her abilities. And then that boy started spamming. But Momo and Okaroon got out of the way just in the nick of time just to pull up on the death worm. The little bro just spewing poison everywhere. If it ain't one thing, it's something else. I mean, good God, them boys getting sandwiched with bullshit. Now they have to get out of here, and Okaroon has a plan for only one of them to leave, and that's Momo. And her ass is like, alright, when I get out of here, what do you want me to do? And this nigga Okaroon says, grab some rope. Do you see how far down they are? I don't think they have enough rope in the country of Japan to help y'all out of there. I'm gonna be honest. Do not piss me off, Okaroon. But Okaroon done launched Momo out of there, and as soon as she was out of sight, that boy Gigi pulled up on Okaroon.
So it's book your next hotel.
If you don't book, it's a shame.
So it's resort.
Sweet vacation home for your next great stay.
Real strength isn't pushing through pain, it's treating it. When there's no pain, there's more gain. Advil targets pain caused by inflammation for fast, strong relief. Advil, that's real strength.
Frame 1. Done turned the purple filter on this nigga glasses. I know he was confused. And I know that boy Okaroon is ready to spin back for his shorty, but I'm not fighting anybody if they're only wearing underwear, bro. You're gonna have to get yourself decent before you run their hands. We go see Momo. Once she got up there, she was looking for some rope. She couldn't find any. So you know what her ass used? Some damn curtains, bro. Everybody finna piss me off. That's low-key why Momo and Okaroon is made for each other, man. They both share -4 brain cells. Cause how did you think this was gonna work, twin? But she remembers what Okaroon was saying, that the death worm does not like sunlight, so she starts burning the house down, trying to get the fire department there. As we go to the Okaroon and Gigi whoops, and that boy Okaroon is hitting a dash on Gigi. Till Gigi cut his ass off and almost domed his little ass. Just for Okaroon to dodge right in the nick of time. That boy Okaroon continued to haul ass. And the second verse is the same as the first, cause that boy Gigi cut his ass off again. Try to get this two-piece off on Okaroon. Just got them attacks dodged, and Okaroon tried to attack that gut. Didn't do much to Gigi though, cause he done caught his ass and flipped him. And as soon as Okaroon looked up, there was a ball coming towards him. He jumped in the air, giving Gigi the self-assisted alley. He done got his goofy ass kicked through a building. Just to end up behind Gigi, put both of his feet on his spine. Cause I can't even call it a kick. I know they really ain't do much to Gigi. And just hit the dasher again. That's all he can do for now. So Gigi decided to put that pressure on Okaroon, kick that spirit of the damn ball at Okaroon just to pull up with the fisticuffs too. He dodged both, but that ball done ricocheted off the wall and hit Okaroon right in the mouth. And I mean, god damn, done tore like half his face mask off. And this was the opening Gigi been looking for whole fight. Cause he done hit that boy Okaroon with an axe handle right to the sternum. Laid his little goofy ass out. Was finna finish the job, but Okaroon got out of the way. Gigi then starts talking that nasty talk to Okaroon like, hey, you gonna keep on running like a bitch or you gonna really throw something? As his nose starts bleeding, that poison is starting to take its effect. So Gigi's like, alright, now I'm really finna put your ass in the dirt. We ain't got much time left. So Gigi traps Okaroon in the doghouse, and I'm not gonna hold you. If I'm Okaroon after this fight, I'm pulling Gigi to the side like, hey bruh, is that how you think of me? Like you think I'm a dog, bitch? And we just simply have to fight again. Okaroon trying to break out of the house as he is unable to. And Gigi starts putting him in a genjutsu of all the lost souls that have been claimed by the evil eye. But Gigi can enter freely into this house as he does. And now he got Okaroon right where he wants him. He can't run away. He just gotta see him with the hands. As he dodged that first punch just to get kneed in the jaw. And Gigi starts beating the dog piss out of Okaroon. I mean, Okaroon straight blocking like he Rocky Balboa. Just nothing but skull contact with these punches. Okaroon unlocking types of CTE ain't ever before seen by the human eye. Then Gigi starts talking about the evil eye, so Okaroon had to shut that goofy ass nigga up immediately. Straight palm little bro by the mouth. Had that boy stun lock, Schmeckledorf even. And it's not like Okaroon grabbed both of Gigi's fists or something. He just let him pop his monologue off. If GG Evil Eye Possessed was a real tweaker, he would have licked that nigga hand and just kept on beating his ass. Or he would have just kept on beating his ass. But Okaroon started talking that sick, nasty shit to GG. He said, I'm usually a chill guy, but you did 3 things to piss me off. 1, you hit Momo, baby girl. 2, you messed up a real dude in GG, bro. He would never be moving like this. So GG took Okaroon's hand off his mouth and went for the right hook, and Okaroon moved. And hold on a second, why he moving like that? Bro stole the Sandevan stand right off of David's spine just to hit GG with this nasty ass uppercut. I mean, Aoki's somewhere proud. He hit that man with a perfect froggy uppercut. So he hits him with one more just to charge up another 19. He is digging in GG right now. He finished that set of 20. GG was looking like it didn't hurt that bad. So Okaroon said, you know what, here go 20 more. Belt to ass is an understatement, because that man, Okaroon, hit GG with 100 double-fisted froggy uppercuts to the face and body, busting his ass out of this doghouse he made. Like, this the type of ass beating where you don't look the person that just gave you said ass beating in the eye the rest of your life. This the type of ass beating you stalk someone's page just to know where not to be at. But yeah, man, that boy Okaroon beat the brakes out of Evil Eye GG. His ass got stuck in that worm glue. The death worm came outside, was getting burned by the sun, so Momo finished it off, and then the volcano actually erupted. And that's the end of the episodes. Yeah, man, these episodes was fire. Okaroon really did real deal Holyfield GG the hell up out of there. But yeah, man, moral of the story today is, sometimes you gotta get it by your bootstraps. But with that being said, if you like, comment, subscribe, do the good stuff, and yeah, I'm out of here. Bye.
We got 2 more videos. This shit already an hour though. We're gonna watch some Anime Love Island. Some O3. Stuff about Halo. Stuff about making comics. We got a lot of stuff to do. We're gonna watch this last one.
Why does it say Paper Jam when there's no Paper Jam? Do you have a case of the Mondays?
And I want you to make me a Krabby Patty!
Start digging in your butt, twin.
Alright y'all, it's me again. I missed last week, so I'm covering episodes 2 and 3 to make up for it. And when I tell y'all the amount of glaze and hype I saw for this Evil Eye fight is insane. I'm not even exaggerating. I remember back in season 1, every GG defender was saying, no, dude, he's tough, just wait for Evil Eye. And now it's finally here. So last time we left off, Okaroon was
What the fuck? Are you with that Diddy shit? Oh, hell no.
But nah, mid-transformation, he gets all up in GG's face, and he just can't control himself. He just punches this shit to the ground, bro. Okaroon is fighting this transformation like he's Spider-Man with the symbiote, and while GG's trying to calm him down, this massive worm bursts to the ground. He saves them, and for some reason, Okaroon's like, let me KMS real quick. Then GG gets a flashback, and we see him witness his parents try to do the same exact thing. So he rushes upstairs, gets a box cutter, and starts cutting them down. And once he goes back down to check on them, he realizes they're saying the same shit Okaroon was saying. Then we come back from the flashback, and Momo's doing the same thing too. But luckily, she stabs Turbo Granny, who was right in front of her instead, and tells GG to tie them up so they can stop. And then Turbo Granny goes on to explain that this is the Earthworm's doing. It emits psychic waves that make people in the house want to commit suicide. And as she's explaining things, Momo tries to do it again with her psychic powers this time. But GG takes it and flies into the beam where he looks up and sees the worm. So he locks in and grabs everyone running down the halls, bobbing and weaving the worm's thrust. He jumps outside, starts looking around to find his way, but his dumbass slips down the stairs. Like he the type of nigga to be chasing those slasher movies. Momo and Okaroon start trying to jump off a bridge, so he hurries up and catches them, and he starts trying to talk some sense to them since they're clearly being controlled by the worm. Then it pulls up, mouth wide as shit. But then this nigga comes out of the blue, staring it down. This is the same dude GG was afraid of in his house too, and the entire reason he called them over here in the first place. He about long as shit too. Tell him to suit up Lakers need a center. Wait, what's that? They signed DeAndre Ayton.
DeAndre, have you spoken to LeBron? Have you spoken to Luka?
Not really. Gigi notices him and he's in shock for real. Both me and you would be too. This dude is like the boogeyman to him. He had him losing sleep every night. Momo and Okarun finally snap out of it though, and everybody wondering who this dude is. And he turns around and gives him this look, and Turbo Granny warns him not to look in his eyes. This is the yokai known as Evil Eye. If you look him in the eyes, he's gonna make you want to kill yourself. And both the Earthworm and his ability are canceling each other out. So Momo and Okarun just snapped out of their trance. Then Okarun transforms, goes full throttle real quick, and slices the worm's head clean off. But that don't mean nothing for real. He just grows that shit back. I'm not gonna lie, that reminds me of this one time when I was like 6 or 7.
Oh, 6, 7.
Me and some other kids cut this worm in half, and this nigga just sprouted a second head. And that had me terrified for like a month. I ain't go outside after that. But the worm crashes into them, and they start hitting the chest. And for some reason, Gigi wants to make small talk with the boogeyman, talking about some.
So it wasn't you who made my parents like that, was it?
Then Evil Eye just forces him to look into his eyes, and we get a flashback. I don't really know what's going on, nor do I care for real. Little kid sees fat niggas outside doing a dance, then he copies the dance and does it till nightfall. Cam pans to his face, of course, he's shocked. He becomes a volcano sacrifice, and we see the old lady from last episode be one of the ones to do so. I don't know what they're trying to say, they're just speaking in Haitian tongues.
Oh, I just want to play like the other kids. Oh.
He comes back as a yokai, and everywhere he goes, he's making kids' parents unalive themselves. For some reason, only the little kids can see him. They even got this one trying to warn him that there's a ghost in the house, but they ain't listening. Now, you see, me personally, if a child below the age of 8 years old tells me they sees a ghost in the house, I'm believing it. They're not dude trying to start doing the emo you seen the other kids do. Like, bro, you look weird as shit. That dance only gonna make it look worse for you, bro. Then later on, them dudes from the Keto family pull up, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna sacrifice you to the worm, little bro. So they tie him up and pull off. But this guy is trying to save him, but unfortunately, he's dead now. This nigga's a ghost, and he's unable to untie him. And then he vows to kill the Keto family for what they've done, and then fuses with the boy. We come back out of the flashback, and he's now fusing with Gigi. But Momo don't really know what's going on, so she tries to save him and force the Evil Eye away. And Gigi's all like, chill out, let it happen. This spirit is not a bad guy. I'm guessing he forced us to watch that backstory along with Gigi or something, and he explains to Momo that he's been suffering all along. So he starts running lower into the ground to find his body. He finally reaches down there and sees this. That's his rotting skeleton, bro. Turbo Granny warns Gigi to not show this dude any sympathy. He's too dangerous. Then all of a sudden, the earthworm starts electrocuting him from way up above. And then he starts sending this fucking nasty ass goop from his mouth. Camera pans over to Okarun and dude is slumped too. Zero energy is left over. He's completely gassed. And we cut back and Gigi's out of it too. Then he appears in this room on some Naruto and Kuruma shit. And then for some reason, he starts apologizing for hating Evil Eye since he thought he was the reason his parents were the way they were. And this nigga's still like,
I want to play with the other kids.
like, nigga, it's been 1,000 years, bro. Let it go, bro. You're a grown-ass man now. I'm gonna let you play with me either, bro. You're a bum. But anyways.
This is Jess. She needs her money to work as hard as she does. That's why she uses US Bank Smartly checking and savings, helping her track her spending and grow her money. That's the power of Jess, and this is the power of us.
Oh, wow. She's been looking for an insight in that data forever.
Oh.
Hi.
I'm gonna find it.
Did you tell her about Sapphire? No, I thought you did. I'm gonna tell her.
Oh no. The quickest way from a billion points of data to a point of view. Sapphire.
Gigi falls for the bait. Then he does his signature chop smile, and then the transformation starts. This dude Gigi is in agony, but then the earthworm shocks them again, and now he's face down, ass up into the goo. This is a terrible look. The worm is right above them, goes for Momo, but then Gigi locks in and punches that shit. Cocks his leg back far as a bitch and kicks him outside like he's Ronaldo. But then the transformation finishes, and now he's being controlled by Evil Eye. Turbo Granny was right. Do not trust this nigga. As soon as he gains control, he's talking about some murdering all humans. Momo's retarded and starts talking to him like he's still Gigi and gets her shit rocked, but blocks the follow attack. But then Evil Eye starts to analyze the situation and realizes that Momo got Turbo Granny on her back and wonders if she got enslaved by humans, bro. He's low-key not wrong though. There is no way she should be in this situation realistically. The worm tries to shock them again, but he pulls up this barrier to block it, and he charges up this ball of spirits and spikes that shit up into the worm, and then it just starts ricocheting, so he starts spamming it and fucking it up. I'm not mad at it though. These impact frames are low-key hard, but he fucks up the worm so bad he just decides to dip and not show himself again. And Momo is being retarded still, asking questions about how Gigi ended up like this, and Turbo Granny goes on to explain that his spiritual energy is high, so Evil Eye was just targeting him to become his vessel. Then he turns around and spikes the ball at Momo, which she barely blocks. But that was a bait. He speed blitzes her, sending her crashing into this wall. He grabs his ball, and that sound effect is just so clean. Just listen to it real quick, bruh. He readies it up to spike towards Momo, but last second, Okarun comes in to block. W Captain Save-A-Ho. Anyways, they're clashing and the ball bursts in Okarun in the opposite direction. Then he grabs Momo and starts running away. Runs upstairs, almost gets hit, but Momo comes in clutch, blocking the ball coming their way. The force of it pushes him down a little bit, but she springs them back up and they start running again. This man, Gigi, or Evil Eye, I don't know what to call this for real. Whatever it is moving different. But they finally get out of sight and Okarun de-transforms, but they end up seeing this nasty looking thing, which the earthworm uses as a way to poison and shock them while he's not being present. So they start thinking of ways to escape, and Okarun brings up the fact that the earthworm's weakness is the sunlight. And Momo starts to wonder how they can lure the worm into the sun. And even if they do, they can't just leave Gigi possessed by the Evil Eye like that. Then Okarun proposes the idea that he gets Momo up there real quick, and once they're done, she can pull them back up via rope or something. And he says he'll find a way to fix Gigi, but for now, Momo gotta dip until then. So she walks up, grabs his hand, and tells him she'll save them and help Gigi. Then he gets her on this chair and shoots her up to the exit like a rocket, but that's not quite high enough. So she uses her powers for an extra boost, but airballs. Then creates these hands in order to catch herself.
Oh yeah, baby.
What the fuck are you doing, nigga? Roll my fade.
Okarun transforms, but we get blue balled and cut back to Momo upstairs, and she's panicking because how is she supposed to help them without a rope in sight? But then she gets the idea to create one with the curtains, but that shit nowhere near long enough. But then she has a slight flashback of when her and Gigi were kids with a normal earthworm. That shit died in the sun, so she decides to set the house on fire as an attempt to kill the giant earthworm by demolishing the house enough to get the sun to peek into its hiding hole, I guess. Then we cut back to Okarun, who's still on defensive with Gigi. He hawking him down with that ball and spikes that shit toward him, but he's forced to hit the limbo, but he's not done yet. He's spamming the ball, but Okarun just running away. Jumps down here, weaves his punch from Gigi, and he airballs both attacks. Dude's hit rate is like 0.12%. Okarun jumps back into his stomach, but he gets tossed, and before he can react, the ball shoots toward him. He jumps, but Gigi grabs him mid-air and slams him through this building, but Okarun got out his grasp and hit him in the back. It does 0 damage though. Dude put all his stats into speed and nothing else, bro, I swear. He runs away, but Gigi spawns in front of him with his arm cocked back far as shit. He misses, Okarun gets behind him, but he uses whatever eye ability that is, it looks like the Renegade or something, to smack this nigga in the face, breaking off a piece of the mask in the process. Then he spikes him down into the ground, goes for another punch, but Okarun hardly gets away.
Stop running, fuck nigga.
But then all of a sudden, Gigi's nose starts to bleed and he peeps the earthworm's poison is still active. We see his forehead Renegade like he's Kaguya or something, and the ball traveled down to Okarun. I thought this nigga airballed again, but he opens his hand and that shit captures Okarun into a house-shaped soul bubble.
You ain't gonna be believed, nigga.
Well, chill, bro. I'm just a hooper, bro.
This shit low-key sad. He getting done how my Go Ichigo was getting done by Grimjaw that one arc. This man is beating the shit out of him with the biggest smile on his face too, bro. He can't be real. And he started threatening to beat Momo too, bro. If he don't lock in, he a bitch. I spoke too soon. He grabbed his face talking about how he harmed his girl, stole his friend's body, and now he finna get back. He slaps his hand out of his face and punches his shit. But then Okarun squats down low as hell and uppercuts him. Then he says he's gonna go full throttle. Uppercuts him into the air this time and starts juggling him on the ceiling. He tries to recover, but he starts going harder and bursts this nigga through the house. And now he laid out. Then Okarun starts aura farming. In this post talking about some
you should never piss me off.
Then he de-transforms and he collapses and he says he gotta get as high as possible so it's easier for him to grab them. And he starts dragging Gigi's big ass all the way up the stairs. But then he hears Turbo Granny in the corner yelling, bruh. They really left her to rot. He tries to save her, but his dumb ass falls into the goo with her. And then we cut back to Momo and she's with the fire department and the entire neighborhood's nosy ass is all sitting there recording. I know they don't got nothing exciting going on in their life. They posted up right next to the fire. But then Momo starts to explain to one of the police officers that the Keto family has been committing murders to this home for years, but she gets detained instead since she literally just started this fire. Dumbass nigga finna get charged for arson. But as she's being detained, the worm bursts through the house and everyone runs away. But thankfully, the sun was still out and the worm cooks itself, literally. But the house was blocking some of the sunlight to fully kill the earthworm. So Momo picks up the fire truck and destroys it.
Fuck Tom Holland.
The worm throws up all the nasty goop it had left and the Keto family somehow survived digestion. Another earthquake starts and the volcano actually erupts. So that shit wasn't a myth after all. And that's it for episode 3. Alright, join my Discord, join my Discord, join my...
The other video we was gonna watch was like what are the differences between the manga and the anime? But maybe we'll just answer some questions. Who will win in a one-on-one fight? Hollow Ichigo or Sukuna. Just easy. Sukuna. Oh, for real? I don't know, bro. I need to rewatch Bleach. There's only 3 questions. I haven't seen. This question is how would you rate Frieren? I haven't seen it, bro. I can't say. I'm not gonna answer this question. Well, yes, I am, because we're gonna talk about Naruto in here anyway. So if you get spoiled, bro, I'm sorry. Well, I'm not gonna say it like that, but it will be some spoilers. You know, I'll try to do better. Telling y'all what's spoilers and what's not spoilers and stuff. Is this a prime opportunity for Cole to steal the Thorn Soul from Arya? Yeah. Cole could come in and steal the Thorn Soul. But yeah, I'm about to watch this Waki is a Demon video, but thank you guys for watching, and see you next time for episode, either episode 3, more episode 3 recaps, or episode 1 and 2 recaps. I'll also be reviewing DanDaDan manga too, and as well as some Naruto videos that's coming up. But yeah, thank you for tuning in.